They got me feeling like I'm academics. Can't
Did he have a gun? Oh yeah, somebody yelled that he has a gun. See, that's another thing. I think people like playing like Monday morning quarterback too. Obviously, he shouldn't get shot in the back. But according to how the laws work in certain places of stand your ground, they don't criminalize the fact that they chased after the kid. But once the kid presents a gun, they then don't criminalize the fact that it's still stand your ground and self-defense that you shot him, even if his back is turned. I don't know, man. Both of these cases are kind of like, it's not the best cases. Obviously, wish this should never happen. Let me look into this a little bit. Could I get like a quick... Okay, here we go. No,
owned on Park Lane Road. News 19's Kiki Gushu is now live in the studio.
2023. Over a suspected shoplifting turned deadly. May 28th, 2023. Authorities say 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack Belton was shot down the street from a convenience store on Park Lane Road after store owner Rick Chow suspected him of shoplifting bottled water. Investigators say Chow and his son chased Cyrus toward the Springtree Apartments, where Chow fired a shot into the teen's back, killing him. The next day, Richland County Sheriff Leon Lott addressed the public.
We're charging the owner of the store, Rick Chow, with murder.
Chow turned himself in that afternoon. That same day, the community gathered to protest and hold a vigil near the shooting scene as people mourned Cyrus's death.
Stop for a moment.
Let me hear this guy. He's black.
A 14-year-old African American. And so I'm so wrapped up in my cases in my world, it's sometimes difficult to keep up with all the cases going on. But this, with murder, then the risk of flight is sky high, right? Because you are facing potentially the rest of your life in prison. And so you would have all the incentive in the world, right, to leave the jurisdiction and never come back again, right? So flight risk is always going to be high when a person is facing life. And then with respect to whether you would be considered a danger to the community, obviously, if you take someone's life, then that is going to be evident in his...
All right, this is like a long explanation. Fuck. Is there like no quick breakdown?
Everyone on my timeline is shocked by this verdict.
We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Chike Rick Chow, as to the charge of murder, not guilty. Fine number 302, four-person, June the 1st, 2026.
Not guilty of murder, and I've got 3 reasons why this jury likely acquitted. This is one of those cases that shocked a community. It sparked outrage because of the victim and the age of the victim, and you see his family after this verdict, and your heart just breaks for what they've gone through, not only after the death of this 14-year-old, but also hearing those words, that acquittal inside of a courtroom.
Number 63, was this your verdict? Is it still your verdict?
I'll get to those 3 reasons why in just a moment. But first, if you don't know this case, here is the overview. A store owner named Rick Chow, he believed what his family told him about a 14-year-old in their store that they believed shoplifted a $1 water bottle. He and his adult son started to chase this 14-year-old Cyrus Belton Carmack 130 yards, and it ended with a fatal shooting and 1 shot to the back of that 14-year-old. Now, the 2 men who started this chase, they said that the boy pointed a gun and that they acted in self-defense. But prosecutors said, yes, the boy did have a gun in his pocket, but that this was not self-defense. This was murder. So my first reason why the jury came back with this decision is, number 1, confusion in the deliberation room. We saw this play out when the jury sent back their questions during those 8 hours that they were deliberating. They had a lot of questions about the law and jury instructions. In this jurisdiction, they did not get those instructions with them in the deliberation room. So every time they had a question about the law and what it meant, they had to come back into the courtroom and hear it read to them, which I think was a mistake. And they were really asking for more help and a copy of those instructions, which they didn't get. They were also rushed at the end of their deliberations. They at first had asked to go home, and the judge told them to keep going. He didn't want them to be tainted by the media. They came back with a verdict not too long later. But I think the fact that they asked for the definition of murder and malice shows that they may have been struggling with those topics. And that brings me to point number 2. This case was overcharged. Jurors asked for a definition of malice. Likely didn't understand how this could have been malice. So malice aforethought, it is when someone has a diseased mind, an evil mind. They hate the person that they are going after. Often it means it was premeditated. But in this case, you do have a chase, you have a shoplifting accusation, but you also have the defendant immediately after shooting this teen starts performing life-saving measures. And he even starts trying to clear his airway with his own mouth, sucking out the vomit from this teen. That's something that the defense put on at the end of their case, and I think that was really compelling in front of the jury. If this had been something that was charged as a lesser, let's say a manslaughter, involuntary or voluntary, that may have been easier for these jurors to connect to this defendant. They just didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. This story seems a little bit odd, though. I get it, like the whole, if he has a gun and you're chasing him, turns it a little bit into like stand your ground. But you shot him in the back. Yeah, I could see at least a manslaughter charge. I'm surprised homie got nothing.
Feel like the prosecution had proved.
To my dad.
And what were you yelling to your dad?
He's got a gun. He's got a gun.
These jurors heard the son talk about seeing and stating to his.
Now, this is going to be probably so important. As long as the son, which he did testify, hey, I told my father he has a gun. It's creating the mindset of what was being thought of at the time. And it probably is going to be like, oh, we need to neutralize this person rather than X, Y, and Z. And that's why, again, in self-defense is about what the person was thinking at the time, not necessarily what do you know in hindsight.
Father about a gun. And with the teen's gun being found present at the scene, I think it was a very difficult situation for these jurors to say that it had been proven that that didn't happen. The circumstances here, though, they are tragic. And I personally don't believe that this teen should have been chased out of that store, especially when it was found ultimately that he didn't take anything in the first place. And then to lose his life in this way is just unimaginable for that family. But having watched the entire trial, that's what I think impacted the decision that the jurors came to. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Yeah, interesting.
Mr. President, Your Honor. Scott.
Also, this was the son being grilled.
911.
Nothing stopped me.
Nothing. And you know how to use 911 because you've used it before, correct?
Yes, sir.
You used it on that day, correct?
So they're probably saying, why you ain't calling 911? Why y'all chased?
Stole something.
Okay. And your dad, as you saw, was right on your heels, right? Rewind it.
In the video, you mean?
Is your monitor working right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, press play session.
You know why these cases are tough? Bro, even watching the surveillance video, nigga, this look like some menace to society shit, man. This is some hurry up and buy shit, man. Like, yo, you could tell, Once I seen this Asian motherfucker come right here, I could tell he's like, yo, you naggers are probably trying to steal some shit in here, man. You could tell by the nigga's look. He's looking at these black people like, oh, y'all in my store stealing, bro. Y'all in here stealing. So definite, like, so here's the tough part. There's so much prejudice that goes into America, and also because of stereotyping in terms of how people look at black people, it poisons these people's minds already. You in a store, they think you stealing. If they have a thought to think you stealing, they definitely think you did. And then it escalates to a situation that now becomes potentially violent. Like, you know, obviously having a weapon, maybe the 14-year-old shouldn't have a weapon, but a lot of people have weapons in the United States of America. Here's the thing. Sending this guy to jail, I don't know if we could just send him to jail for his mindset. If we sit here and we say, do we think this guy is prejudiced? I'm like, fuck yes. Fuck yes. You get what I'm saying? Like, clearly. Like, you could tell there's some prejudice here, in my opinion. Yeah, like, by the way he looking, you could tell he's like, yo, these motherfucking niggas keep stealing, man.
Okay. You guys are right together, are you not?
Yes, sir.
Let me see clip 21 states 4, please. Are you hearing any?
Yes, sir.
What apartment complex are they with?
That first one.
Okay. And then how many more up the road?
I'm not sure.
All right, well, dead ends, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you're standing right there, you can see him take a left in that apartment complex, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if he keeps going, you know there's a dead end, right?
Yes, sir.
And you know there's only that other apartment complex on the right up there.
Yes,
So
sir.
if you stand right there, stay in your parking lot of your store at 7441 Park Lane Road, you can go ahead and rule out that first apartment on the left if he passes, right?
I could, yes, sir.
Okay, but if he turns in there, you can say, officers, he went up there, took a left, right?
Yeah, so they're questioning this kid on basically like, all right, if you thought he stole the water bottle, you thought he's about to get away. Don't you have the proper line of sight? You can see where he's going to. Why not call the cops? Now, here's the thing with all of these like situations here. What state? Let me see. Oh, this is South Carolina. The way the law, like these are states with a lot of rural counties and rural places. The law actually protects people from not being victims of like someone who's going to steal something and be like, oh, okay, well, I'm out of here before the cops come. It gives you an opportunity that if you want to try to protect your property, you can. Like in certain places, you can't protect property, right? Like, again, you know, I know it well. In New Jersey, you can't protect property. You could protect life. You can't protect property. In other places, I believe South Carolina as well, you can protect property. So, like, even though the prosecutor's making that statement or making that point to say, yo, why didn't you do X, Y, and Z? Well, even though he should have called the cops, the law doesn't ban him from actually trying to protect his property or his thought of property. And I get it. You know, supposedly the kid didn't take anything, but that doesn't matter as much just because it's about what it's known at I can't even speak. What's known at the point, which is kind of sad. Fuck. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in this situation, I'm going to say if they didn't get overcharged, I could see a conviction. A manslaughter, second degree, something that doesn't include intent or malice, but something that penalizes for resulting in death, which would be manslaughter. But murder, a lot of times there is a statute or a piece of the consideration for murder. You have to have some intent, not only to kill, to cause a lot of damage, or you thought about it in the moment, or you wanted to kill that person in the moment.
And by the way, we got a
Or you want to kill that person premeditatedly. I'm sorry.
space too, right?
Okay.
And by the way, we got a cell phone and shoe, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you following me still? If you kept running past that driveway, then you could narrow it down too. You could say, Mr. Police Officer, he kept running past that first complex, and the next one is up there on the right, right?
I could have.
Okay. Are you tracking my question? So my question is, why do you need to be right up on him, jogging beside him the whole time?
I did not plan to be right on him
But you were.
because he tripped.
So you watched a 14-year-old boy with one shoe. You suspected of stealing $1 of water, trip and fall, and you didn't just turn around and say, Dad, let's call it a day. Let's just go back. We've done too much already. You didn't do it
I did not do that.
because you're right up on it. And you even said that in your statement, right?
I
got
was.
right up on it.
I was arm's length away.
Okay. You still didn't notice he was only wearing one shoe?
No, sir.
He busted his butt pretty bad there, didn't he?
His butt. No.
He busted his shins up, right? I mean, he was down like on his stomach, right?
I'm
You
not
said
sure.
that.
He was flat, and I saw something in his hand.
Okay. This is state 78. Okay. And he hit pretty hard. Okay. And are you familiar with a tack light? This is state's number 6. Are you familiar with the tack light?
Yes, sir.
Remember that on the ground?
I did not see it myself, but
Well, like you were standing there with the officer when he identified it being there after the fact.
I thought they were talking about a red thing on the floor.
Okay. But you didn't see that at the time?
I did not see it. No, sir.
All right. Well, let me see states 35. You saw his shins just now, what he did to himself after that fall.
I did see them.
Okay. And it was a fairly. He bit the. I mean, he hit the ground pretty hard, did he not?
He did fall flat on the ground.
Okay. And that was right about here.
All right. A lot could be just analyzed. I would have to watch the majority of the case to kind of like get a strong takeaway. Obviously, just on face value, as I said, my opinion is that it's a bunch of bad circumstances that led up to the death. On face value, I don't agree with shooting somebody in the back. Obviously, we live in America, so when it's said that that person had a gun too, the person's dead. I don't know if there's a video of the actual incident. You could kind of almost like, it's probably hard to convict that person, especially when their son is going to testify for them as well. So, yeah. All right, let me see. Blueface's royalties getting seized. All right. Anyway. All right, chat. I'm calling tonight. I'll be back tomorrow. I gotta get